I want to bring in MSNBC congressional reporter Kevin Fry. Brendan Buck served as press secretary to former Republican House Speakers John Boehner and Paul Ryan. Kevin, how much are these emails, these Epstein emails, in the conversation right now on Capitol Hill?
I mean, they're landing about as you might expect. You've seen some Republicans rushing to defend Trump, including the House Oversight Committee's own Republican leadership, basically saying that Democrats are trying to, quote, make a fake narrative to slander President Trump, saying shame on them. Meanwhile, some Democrats, like Congressman Jerry Nadler, who's going to be retiring, but also is a prominent member here, a long time in serving, saying that it is clear as day that Trump is in the Epstein files. This comes, though, just hours before we are expecting Adelita Grijalva, the Arizona Congresswoman-elect, to be sworn in officially after Democrats have been asking for weeks now for her to be sworn in during one of those pro forma sessions. That swearing in scheduled to take place around 4 p.m., and she, of course, is going to be the 218th signature on that discharge petition, which would then set up the possibility of a vote on the bill to release the Epstein files, likely sometime in December, though there's plenty of kind of legislative procedural mishaps that could happen along the way that could tie up that timeline. But as we've emphasized before, even if it gets through the House, no guarantee it'll get through the Senate. And then, of course, the president would have to sign off on it. So good luck with that.
All right, Brendan, right now, the future of tens of millions of Americans are in the hands of Congress. You know, the shutdown, obviously, health care. Do you think this is a distraction, accusing Trump of maybe knowing more than he said about Epstein's crimes, or can Congress walk and chew gum at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to have to, and then they get confronted with that kind of stuff all the time. Is it a distraction? Absolutely. I mean, this is, I think, what Mike Johnson has been trying to avoid all along. And I don't know that he could ever really avoid it. And I actually think it was a bit of a misstep to delay swearing her in, to delay a vote on this resolution or bill or whatever it is. As Kevin laid out, this isn't really going anywhere. I mean, the House Oversight Committee, as we've learned today, is already investigating these things. So I worry that too much attention has been paid to this discharge petition, which, again, would force a vote on this, but isn't likely to materially change any of the information that we are going to have one way or the other. Mike Johnson, I think, has by trying to delay this situation, has only elevated it and created so many questions about why he's not swearing her in or what's the delay. I think at some point they just need to kind of clear this out. I do also want to stress, though, this is remarkable that the Oversight Committee Republicans are the one who have created these headlines for Donald Trump. Yes, the Democrats on the committee were the ones that released it, but it was Republicans who subpoenaed the estate asking for these documents and got them. I've never seen a committee go after a president of their own party in this way. I don't think they meant to, but that is the effect that they've had.
All right. So we do, as you say, expect Congresswoman-elect Grijalva to finally be sworn in later today and give that signature for the release of the Epstein files. She actually was on this network last night. So here's what she said.
I feel it's really important for the survivors to finally have justice, and for those who are implicated in the files that they have their day in court. I mean, I think that's very important, and that transparency is important for the American people. That was something that Trump promised, right? When he was running for office, day one, I'm going to release those files. And then I think he got a big gander at what was actually in there and thought better of it. And it's very important that the survivors have that justice.
Is this different than some of the other political fights that we've had? Because, Brendan, this is about young girls being trafficked for sex, being trafficked and raped. So I wonder if there is a different calculation that comes into play as we see how this all unfolds.
Well, I think it's a mistake to think that Republicans really have a strategy on this at the moment. Yes, this is deeply serious, and this is an issue that has been spotlighted by the Republican Party more than anyone. Democrats didn't talk about this for 4 years when Joe Biden was president. It was once Donald Trump came into office that they started to have an interest in this, and they've been very happy to help Republicans bring this along. There are a lot of Republican voters out there who are not going to be so simply satisfied with saying, well, Donald Trump doesn't want to talk about this, let's move on. And that's been the problem forever. Most issues where Donald Trump says, hey, change the subject, guys, they do it. But that hasn't happened here because there are a lot of people who've invested a lot of time and energy, and I think sincere energy in wanting to get to the bottom of this. And now there is this effort, sort of ham-handed, to try to figure out what's going on here. Let's remember, you had the Oversight Committee, when they subpoenaed DOJ, also started subpoenaing people like Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, clearly just as an effort to kind of distract and muddy the waters of what's going on here. At this point, I don't think they really know what they're doing. They clearly don't know what they're uncovering. This is not, I don't want to like give James Comer too much of an apology here for actually getting into it, because I think he's just stumbling into this stuff by accident. It doesn't feel like anybody is actually trying to get to the bottom of it in a serious way. It's just creating this political blizzard. I don't think it's going to resolve the unknown issues that we have. I don't think these people are going to get their day in court because this discharge petition, it just creates more questions that Donald Trump doesn't have good answers for. And so it's not going to go away until he finds some way to get ahead of it.
Brendan Buck, Kevin Fry, thank you both.